Hi everyone, welcome to this Java tutorial. Today we're going to have an introduction to the string class. Let's get started. Hi everyone, and welcome to this introduction to the string class in Java. So here we have a line of code which is going to construct a new string object in computer memory, and my variable name is first name and the data type is string with a capital S. Okay, so first name itself, this variable here, doesn't really store any data by itself. It simply references a string object. So this is a reference variable. Java, when it stores data in a string object, it actually breaks up the string into a character array. So that's how Java will store the string. We don't see that happening, but that's what Java does when it stores a string. It breaks it up into a character array. Now we already know a little bit about arrays, so we can say that the first character of a string will have an index of 0. Okay, and we'll look at how why that might be useful as we get going in today's video. Also, as you will discover through experience, a string reference variable can reference a string object or something called null. And those are the only two things that a string reference variable can reference. Okay, and experience will show you how that works as well, and we'll have a look at that in today's lesson. Now, the string class allows us to not only store string data in a string object, but it also allows us to play with that data using string class methods, and we're going to have a look at those as well today as we get going. Alright, let's jump into some code. So I'm just going to set up a string as we just saw. Let's just use JSON, and now let's do a system.out. And if we run that, hopefully we'll see JSON. And we don't see that because it's not name, it's first name. Okay, so there's one way to declare and initialize data to a string reference variable. We could, of course, do this as well. We could do that on 2 lines of code. That works, of course. Okay, and actually in Java, because strings are so often created, the Java developers decided to simplify how we can construct a string. So this is another way of creating a new string. And it's all the same, okay, if I run that. Now, do you remember I was talking about some methods that we can use to play with the data? So actually I'm going to change this. Let's just start again. String email equals, let's just do it the quick way, jason@hotmail.com. Now then, what I'm going to do is system.out.print email, which is my reference variable, .length. So here we have the length method of the string class, and I know that I can use it with this reference variable because this is a string class reference variable. So this is all part of the same family. Okay? Could I do email dot random? No way. The random method is not a member of the string class. The random method is a member of the math class. So Java will say they're not in the same family. You can't do that. Okay? So let's run this code and see what we get. Okay? So the length of this string is 17 characters. Now let's do another one. This time I'm going to do email dot index of, and I'm going to find the index of that @ mark. Do you see the @ mark there? I'm going to find the index of that @ mark. Let's see. I'm expecting a number, right? Because it's an index. So the index of that @ mark is 5. Let's just check. 0, 1. The A is 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, the @ mark is at 5. Brilliant. System.out.println. Let's just have a look at another one. Substring 0, 1. So here we have, email dot, I need the reference variable. Email dot substring 0, 1. What will that do? Let's just comment these out so we can see what's going on. So the substring method allows me to kind of slice strings. Okay? So this is going to the object which is referenced by email. It's starting at the first character, which is J, that's at index 0, and it's stopping at the next character, which is A. But that's not included in the output, in the slice. Okay, that's the stopping point, but the stopping point is not included in the slice, if you see what I mean. Okay? Alright, this is what I'm going to do now. I'm going to say int at index equals email dot index of the @ mark. So I'm going to grab the index of that character, and I also want to grab the index of that dot and store it. And now I'm going to save a slice. So string email provider is equal to email.substring. Well, I want to start at the character after the @ mark, because I'm going to try and take out Hotmail. So I want to start at the character after the @ mark. So that's at index plus 1, right? That's the starting point. And I want to stop at the dot. So I've already got that. That's dot index. And let's do system.out.print. The email provider is. Now let's run that and see if it works. The email provider is Hotmail. So here we've got a different string this time. J at msn.com. The email provider is MSN. Okay? So if you're happy with that, you can stop the video now, but I am going to spend a few minutes talking about string arrays. Okay? So if you want to continue, let's continue. It's up to you. Alright, I'm just very quickly going to have a look at a string array. And I'm going to look at string array email addresses, okay? So string array addresses equals new string array with, let's say there are 5. Okay, so addresses 0 is equal to something, j@msn.com. Addresses 1 equals, I tell you what, there's a quicker way of doing this. Can you see how I'm populating my string array? This will work, this is fine, but I just want to show you another quicker way to populate a string array. Let's just do 3, okay? Because it's going to take time anyway. Okay, so we've got 2 Hotmails and an MSN. Okay. Now I'm going to loop through the array, and I'm going to count how many Hotmail addresses there are. Okay. So int Hotmail count equals 0. Let's just set up a variable to store the result. Now for int I equals 0 to I is less than addresses dot length. Remember, this is an array, so we don't need to use the round brackets. It's not a method. Now then, this is where it gets interesting. Int at index equals addresses I dot index of at mark. So remember that addresses I is an element of a string array, and the data type of this thing is a string. This element is a string. So addresses I is a string, so of course I can use the index of method. Okay? They're in the same family. Int dot index equals addresses I dot index of, this time we're looking for the dot. I'm just going to use the same logic as last time. And string provider is equal to addresses I dot substring at index plus 1, and the stopping point is dot index. So there's the substring method of the string class, starting at that index and finishing, but not including that index in the result. And if provider, which is the slice that I've just made, which is a string, right? So I'm going to use the equals method this time. If that's true, we're going to increment our Hotmail count. And then down here, at the end of the for loop, when everything's finished processing, I'm going to print out the result. And let's run that. There are 2 Hotmail accounts. Let's just change this one to Yahoo. Okay, so take some time to think about what we've just done, and that's an introduction to the string class.